All right, we made it back. We made it back for another show. We are
Yay!
here. We
We
are here.
lost
Sonny, you
Sunny.
might have to leave and come back because I don't know why this thing does not like your
What?
camera.
Oh my! Can y'all
I
hear
don't
me?
know.
Playing with us.
That's crazy.
Yes, I don't know why this thing does not love it. Look, it be playing with Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna have Sunny coming right back. And shout out to Sharon. Sharon will be back with us on Monday. I just talked to her. So she'll be back Monday. Listen, when you
We
gotta work,
miss
you
you,
gotta work.
Yes,
Sharon.
we
Yes, we
do.
miss you, Miss Sharon, for real. Um, so this week is our career money week. We didn't have a show Monday because somebody just had a birthday.
Woo, woo,
Miss
woo.
Yvette just
Happy
had a birthday.
birthday to ya.
So she is spending time
61,
with
baby.
her
Yeah.
family. So
61.
Don't
yeah,
look a day over
61 don't look
22.
like it.
Thank
Look,
you.
61 where?
Thank you. Don't
Can
look
y'all
a
see
day
me
over
now?
22.
Yes, we
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
see you.
ma'am.
Okay, cool.
Yep, we see you now. All right, so hey, no. So this week, look, I had to put the because listen, not tonight. Not tonight. We had our prayer and we trying to have good vibes.
That's right.
Um so tonight we got a couple topics. We're gonna be talking about money. Go. Goddamn. Oh, sorry. Hey, Lord have mercy. Carly, I'm about to put her back outside. That's where she finna go. Back outside. All right.
Uh-oh.
We still are in Women's Month. Women's History Month is a thing. Fellas, we like y'all, but it's our month. Plain and simple. It's our month. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make it a highlight.
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing. Um,
Mhm.
we have our Sexy Man of the Week. We don't have a sip and spill letter tonight, but I'm going to remind you guys of what to do to send your letters in. And I got some news I want to talk about, a lot of different news topics. So let's start this off with talking about good debt versus bad debt. Because, like I said, this is our career money week. And I think we all are going to benefit from this conversation. A lot of people don't understand that whole good debt versus bad debt conversation. And I really can't wait to hear Sonny's view on this because I feel like the younger generation sometimes they see things a little differently. So I want to see, are we all on the same page with this, or do we kind of have some different views? Because I know when I became an adult, turning 18, I didn't know what I was doing, man. I could go get a credit card. I went to Sears. Listen, I went to Sears, got me a credit card because I qualified. They was like, "Oh, you want to sign up for a card while you making this purchase?"
Don't
Sure.
they try
Man,
to
they
get
gave
you?
me $300, and I was like, "Oh!" And she said, "And you can use it today." Oh, I can. Man, I was in there. I done went on a whole shopping spree, and
Shut
these people.
up.
And then I was like, "Oh, let me." So then they start sending stuff in the mail. So here I am. Okay, credit one. Like, girl, you want this credit card? Had me a whole credit one credit card. Oh, and you can do cash advance. So you mean to tell me I could take this card, I could
Right.
go to the ATM, take money out, and I could use that money on anything? What? Oh, so yeah,
Sunny.
I
Shut
started
up.
just I just started setting myself up for a complete failure, 18, 19 years old. And then once I had my oldest daughter at 20, I start realizing, okay, I got to get this together because now not only am I taking care of myself, I'm taking care of her. And if my credit is not right, I
Mhm.
can't do certain stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think at that time I was in college. I started going to school. So then now I'm starting to get that college debt, adding that to my roster of debts. And then I start learning about medical debt. So there's so many different debts. Now, credit cards always sound bad, but they're not always bad. because they help you build, the way society is, and the way society is, everything is based off a credit score. Oh, if your credit score is good, we're gonna give you what you want. But if your credit score is bad, then you can't have it. And having a credit score can impact your credit positively. But you have to understand the income to debt ratios. Make sure that you're not overspending the money that you have. There's so many different aspects that go into it, and I think when you're younger, all you see is, "Ooh, they gave me this, they gave me that. I'm going to." I don't. You mean I don't have to have the money right now because I got it on this card? Versus now at 40, at 40 something years old, I'm like, man, I need all the debt. I need all my good credit. I don't want nothing on my credit. I'm over here like I don't want to see nothing on my credit report. You want to apply for a credit card? Rip. I'm ripping it up quick. So I don't even make it from the mailbox fast enough for me to tear it up.
Right.
But then also something, and I know Miss Yvette, we probably all understand this too, but I know Miss Yvette because she's owned businesses. Business debt is an awesome thing to have as well. Because when you have a business where you are bringing in large amounts of incomes, putting out large amounts of income, having that business credit allows you the same features as if it was your personal, credit. You can go and purchase the big item things you need for your business with that business credit and not have to bring it out of the business's income directly.
Right.
So there is so much good and bad, but let's start with Sunny because I want to hear the 20-something-year-old perspective of good and bad debt.
Oh man, I will say this: I have my share of bad debt for sure, for exactly the reasons you said. I don't remember how old I was, but it was a couple of years ago that I applied for like a loan. I played hard, so now I mean I learned from that though. I think I went to the Linden Tree, and I think it was like 1,500 or 2,000 or something. And yeah, it didn't end well. My payments, I kind of took it as I didn't take it seriously enough. I was like, and I wasn't as responsible as I could have been. But no, I have had my fair shares of up and down when it comes to financial stuff, and now I'm in a place of like trying to be more responsible with everything I do. I mean, you got Afterpay. I owe them. I got, when you get loans from or you get overdrafts and stuff like that, like it kind of, when you owe somebody that you use all the time, like Afterpay or something like that, it's like, dang, like I gotta get it together because I still need y'all. I still trying to get everything in my Sheen cart, but chopped up. Like and it worked for me for a while until I, couldn't pay the fees and stuff. So yeah, I think that it's so like it's different for me now than when I first, like a couple years ago. And now I'm just like kind of cleaning up debt and things like that, and paying things back and getting on payment plans and making the calls and doing all that stuff. And my advice is to just do it right the first time. I mean, you might not know all the information, and I could have did more research. And then as Black people, when it comes to financial literacy, we don't always get a one-on-one on how to do that. Sometimes we're the first people to be doing stuff, so my family wasn't really giving me the tips and trips on, when you get loans, or if you do this or if you do that. So it's like it was a learning curve the whole time for me. And I didn't really have much to look to, but I could have did more research. Another thing I had to figure out too was speeding tickets. I was a speed demon for a lot of years. And I used to think I could never get caught. And then like 1 year they kept catching me. And I said, I can't do this no more. Like 6 times in a year. Like it was like it was a mess. So that's another thing, like little tickets and parking tickets and all that rack up. And I played with that too, because I was in Chicago parking where I went to park at, and they was giving me tickets. I'm like, but you ain't take my car though. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going, you know. So it's like, be responsible. You gotta be the right mindset when you're doing certain stuff. And now I'm just in a place of like figuring out what it's like. I know everything not to do at this point for me. And now it's like, what do? I know I gotta clean up my debt and things like that. I gotta kind of work on my credit. A little tip with credit is what is that app called? Self. It's called Self. So I started out with Self to build my own credit. And basically it's like a credit card, but you're paying into yourself every month, I believe. And it helps you build your credit because it's kind of showing that you can pay that. And then you get like either a percentage or like all of it back or something at the end of the year or something like that. I haven't used it since I first started building my credit, so I'm not too clear on it, but that was a great start for me. For someone who has zero credit, that's what I recommend to my friends, and somebody had recommended to me. What's more? I have one more thing. Oh, you got to play the system a little bit. So like I said, with like overdraws and stuff, even though I be working, it's like sometimes them checks don't come when them checks need to be coming, and you need to do something at that time. So it's like, take out that 300. Like Cash App, I'll use Cash App to get certain stuff, and they'll provide like little incentives, or you get cash back, or you get I forgot what the word is. It's not overdraft, but it's like you basically can take out money. It's obviously it's a little fee you gotta pay if you take out money or whatever. So calculating that, but just take out what you know you could pay back. That was my biggest thing. Like, only take out what you know. Like, if you know you need $300 right now and your check probably gonna be like 500, 600,000, whatever, you can easily pay that back. A lot of times I set a payment plan, but I can pay it back early. You know what I mean? Because I don't need nothing else. I told you I got tickets and all this other stuff. I don't need nothing else. So yeah, that's just been my take on it. I do understand that there's good and bad debt now. That was something I learned when I was going over like credit cards and stuff like that, and Afterpay and all these things. Like, there's ways for it to be a good thing, but I think the biggest thing is responsibility when it comes to stuff like that. So, yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm like Sunny, she said one of the key components, I think, is for us as people of color. A lot of times we're not taught financial literacy, right? Because that's not the top of the list, right? On things to teach us. And so, I grew up in the system. So that was one of the last things that was being taught to me. And I'm like, well, Sunny, I was learning things as I went. And when I was able to start getting credit cards, of course, every time they offered me one, I got it. But paying it back was never in my mind. So for the first 5 to 7 years of me getting credit cards, luckily it was in my early, my 20s. I didn't pay those things back. And I was just like, well, catch me if you can type of thing. And not realizing that was affecting my credit score, right? But even back then, I didn't even know what the purpose of a credit score was. So until I finally got myself together and started putting 2 and 2 together, basically, like, oh, I can't get A because I didn't pay these credit cards off. Or when I was trying to go for an apartment, they asking for credit checks and all that type of stuff. So, in the last like 10, 15 years, I finally started getting myself on track to the point where I almost got my credit score up to like 700. And I know that's not the best, but it was enough, right? To where I was able to be a co-signer for somebody, right? Where I was able to get a credit card. And like Lady Bird said, like I had 3, 4 credit cards, and I realized I don't need 3 or 4. All I need is one credit card that I can earn bonus points on, and I pay all my bills out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about it. And I make sure that I don't go above a certain amount. But like Sunny said, it's times where with the best intentions, sometimes you fall behind, right? So like, I'm going to tell you a trick that I got sucked in, and I blame it on me, not even so much the bank, because I could have easily said no. So because my credit was so good for a long time, I would not let them take my credit card over $2,000, because to me, I was like, I can manage that. And if I need to put more on it for something else, then you can always put more on it and it's there. So because I had been doing so well with keeping my credit card paid off for so many years, I went into the bank for something and they were like, "Oh, hey, Dawn." And the lady was like, "Oh, I see you one of our platinum members." And I'm like, "What'd that mean?" She was like, "Oh, because you can get a credit limit up to, let me see, tappity tappity tap. Oh, $25,000." I said, "Absolutely not. I'm good. No way, ma'am. And she was like, "Oh, well, well, let's see, possibly a lower amount. You want to just check, because you never know. Your car break down, you out of town, and something happens, and you need a little extra money. I mean, you don't got to spend it just because it's there." And I'm like, and the smart person in my brain was saying, "Dawn, continue to say no. Back away from the counter very slowly." But no, the devil over here won that day. And I said, "Okay, go ahead and put it in. What's the lowest amount y'all can raise my credit card?" The lady said 7,500 is the lowest. I said, "Oh, Lord." I said, "Okay, go ahead and do it." And I never should have did it. Because of course, I'm a single person. All my bills are paid by me. I have a car note, car insurance. I got all these bills already. And of course, I got that 7,500, and before I even realized, I was $5,000 in. Now I'm trying to scramble to pay it back. But it's hard to even pay it back because you keep having bills coming, and every time you get a little extra money, something extra happens, the car breaks down, so you never can get ahead. So I'm always paying the minimum payment on time plus more, because I'm constantly putting money on the credit card, right? So I'm never late. I'm always putting lump sums of money on it, but I can't get it back up to the full 7,500. But that's the only thing I really play with right now, is that one credit card. And I wish I wouldn't have let them increase it, but that was my own fault. And so I'm working on getting that paid off. But, I only have one credit card. I try to only deal with a firm that's like a Klarna, and I be real sparingly on when I use that, and I pay that, the bills back as quick as possible. Student loans, people tend to get caught in that student loan thing where they don't think that if you don't pay them back, it's just gonna go away.
Mm-hmm.
No, they come and snatch your taxes. They'll put a lien on your paycheck, all of those type of things. And so it's just like, Sonny said, just learning to be more responsible. And, like my sister Latasha said, as you know better, you do better, right? And so because we're not taught that, we are like fishes out of water trying to figure it out. And I wish that more younger people would learn that earlier. Like I give it to Sonny. She's learned it early enough that hopefully by the time she hit 30, she good. And credit scores are very important, and people need to know that, because nowadays everybody's checking your credit to do anything for you, to get an apartment, to rent a car, to do anything. People want to know what your credit score is, because they want to know if you're going to pay them their money back, or if something happens, you can pay them back. And even something else, and I'm going to turn it over to Vet Renee, talking about life insurance policies. People don't understand that is important. You need to be getting a life insurance policy before you get sick, so you can get it at the cheapest amount, right? Where it only costs you $2-3 a month to have like a $50,000 policy, just enough to bury you, maybe leave a couple pennies to your kids. Because I hate to see somebody with a GoFundMe when somebody passes away. Because if me, the woman that I am, soon as I turned 50 and I was able to get a policy, I got a policy, because I'd be daggone if my kids had to beg anybody to bury me. So
Exactly. So I'm going to take it back to the original question, good and bad debt. A lot of people don't understand what the difference between good and bad debt. Bad debt, those in-store credit cards, bad debt. Credit bureaus look at that as junk credit. So when you're going to purchase a home, get a mortgage or whatever, they're looking at that as junk debt, junk credit. I have never ever had an in-store credit card because in my mind, if I have a major credit card with a major financial institution, what do I need a TJ Maxx card for? With the high interest rate, and then they'll tell you, oh, you get 10% off your purchase. Think about it. You may be getting that 10% off, but that interest rate is way more than 10%. So where are you saving? Nowhere. So and financing a vehicle with high interest rate, that's bad debt. 18, 19, 20%, 12%, that's bad debt. If you keep your credit within good standings, you can get a lower interest rate. I remember when I used to have really bad credit and I had to go to these buy here, pay here places to get a car paying 25%. And one day I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. I am never going to pay this car off because I'm constantly paying on the interest. Took that car right back to them because it made no sense. Sacrificed until without having a vehicle until I got my credit to the point where I can get get financing through Toyota, through a credit union. A credit union is everything. And that's what I did. I made that sacrifice. So you got to know the difference between good and bad debt. And we don't start off knowing that because, like you said, this isn't something that our parents taught us, So unfortunately, we as people of color, we learn this through experience, going through it and getting ourselves in debt with these in-store credit cards. Oh, you got a home goods credit card. Oh, you're getting ready to go and buy up everything for your home. All you need is a major credit card. Now, for me, I have several major credit cards, being a previous business owner. But whatever I charge on my credit card, I pay it off. I don't let it roll over because in my mind, I don't want to give the financial institution any money that I don't have to give them. I don't want to pay interest. I don't care how low the interest rate is. And my credit score is I have excellent credit, but still, I don't want to give anybody any extra money. So whatever I charge, I'm paying it off. So I'm never carrying a balance. So, we have to go through these bad experiences to learn to do better.
I wanted to add too, because both of you, Sunny and Miss Yvette, made me think of something. Sunny was mentioning like on Cash App, and this is something I hate this with a passion. Not saying I haven't used it before, because I have, but Cash App has that new feature where you can borrow. You can borrow. Oh, you need to borrow $125. It's right here. And every time you pay it back on time, oh, we increased your borrow limit, and it goes up. But then also they have, they have the afterpay, they have the overdraft protection where, oh, if it's not more than $25, they'll protect it, and you don't get declined at the register and things like that. And that stuff it seems helpful, but it's really not, because it's just adding to the debt. I'm the type of person, and I know I get on everybody's nerves around me who wants me to get a payment plan for things. I don't like doing payment plans. I like if I gotta go and get anything new, I'm going and I'm paying the exact amount for whatever it costs, and I'm walking out with it. I went to a furniture store, and the furniture stores, they are notorious for 90 days same as cash. No, I have the cash. Why would I pay it in 90-day increments? You got it all right here. And I had to go in there and get get stuff for the kids. And I'm like, no, if I got to spend $200 or $300 at one time for this, whatever it is, then here it is. And they was looking at me like, what? I guess they so used to people just wanting to do the payment plan that when you come in and you don't want to do it, it's like you almost look, you know, they look at you crazy. I'm like, I can't do the payment plans.
Right.
You know, and with the couple credits, because me personally, I do have my credit one, but I also have like a line of credit too. And that's it. Because I'm like, you ain't finna keep you know, I couldn't have been Dawn. You want to give me 25,000? Man, put it all on there right now. Look,
it took a lot. Listen, but I wish they wouldn't have put the other one in.
I need the whole 25. Yep, sure is. And I'm about to go buy me. Look, I'm finna find something for half of that 25,000 already.
But you know what else? Chime. That's another setup with the and you know giving you the money ahead of time because it's your money, but that's $200 you're not gonna have when that check do hit.
So and see, that's one I don't have. I don't have Chime. So I just literally because this man in my house uses Venmo, okay, for his customers. Is the only reason I finally got a Venmo, but I don't use it. My Venmo balance says 0. It ain't connected to nothing. So it's like a lot of every time a new card pop up, they sent me one in the mail the other day. And you know what I did? I feel like lit it in half and threw it in the trash. Yeah. It was like net spend or something. I'm like, I don't need this. I have a bank account, number one. I already got Cash App, PayPal, and you know, my regular stuff. Like, I don't need all this extra stuff. And that's what happens. You get these offers and it's like, oh, they're giving it to me. Well, I'm gonna take it. And we have to find the strength to not take every little thing that comes. I like what Miss Yvette said about you know, not having those little credits, because I don't do that either. Well, after I had my experience with Sears and having that card, because it took me it probably took me my whole to get rid of that debt, because Sears interest rate was high. It took me almost my whole 20, so about 10 years.
Sears will hold on to it. They won't just run it off. You know how some of the credit cards.
And I worked with,
they'll
and
just
I was
like
an employee. So not only, and look, this is the crazy of Sears employees. So not only am I working for you, you also getting money from me because I got your credit card and you charging me all this interest. Like, wait, So once I got rid of that debt, I was like, I'm not worrying about these stores because they do it now. And I still can't believe some of these stores that offer credit cards. Like you say, TJ Maxx, or these little like stores where clothes is like $3 and $5 and $7. Like, why you want me to get a credit card and the clothes ain't even that much? You know, right. Walmart is another one with that high interest. Nope, I had a Walmart card before just because and that's what happened when you work places. You want to get their cards because they
catch you around the holidays when maybe you don't have a lot of money. And you know who got me?
I'll just do layaway or buy it.
I had a Kohl's card forever and a day, and I never used it, rarely. You know who used to use that card was my son, because he's a Nike fanatic, right? So I never really used that card.
And Kohl's kept telling me no. Kohl's told me no about 3 times, and I say, you know what? Let me just go sit down and stop trying to get a Kohl's card.
Well, 2 years ago, they decided I never knew it was going to happen. I got a letter in the mail that said, oh, by the way, your Kohl's card is turning into a Visa Kohl's card. I said, whoa, I don't want no Visa. And you didn't get a choice on whether you just wanted to keep the store card. They turned their card into a credit card. So now I ended up with a credit card that now the little bit that I did spend on
that you didn't even really
listen. So the money that I had spent that didn't have a whole bunch of interest got slapped on that credit card that's where the interest came in at.
Yeah.
So I've been working on paying that off, and it's almost paid off. And I said after I pay it off, I'm cutting it up. My one friend said, don't cut it up, just pay it off and leave it in a drawer.
And put it away, Yeah, that's what my dad always say. Don't cut it, don't close the account. Because sometimes even though even though the debt has been bad for us through a certain period, once it's paid off, it now becomes part of that good debt. So just don't touch it. Just put it to the side. Don't touch it. Let it be for an emergency. Like the pipes in the house burst and you don't have the money, stuff like that. The true emergency stuff.
Yeah, because I don't use that card. That's why I always say I got one credit card, because the only card I use is, like Miss Yvette Renee said, is my credit card with my credit union. That's the only card that I use.
And you know,
everything.
The credit bureaus will set you up as well. I am constantly getting emails from Credit Karma, Experian, to finance a vehicle. Oh, you're approved for a $50,000 car loan. I own my car outright. Why would I turn around, and my car is fairly new, so why would I turn around and get myself into debt,
right,
financing a vehicle when I own my car? I mean, it's not adding up to me. And I'm getting these alerts at least 2 or 3 times a week from Experian, Credit Karma.
Right.
So the credit bureaus will set you up as well.
Right.
Something Miss Yvette said was about saving. Go
ahead. No, go ahead, son.
Yeah, she had mentioned something about saving, and that's a big thing too. Is like, I love to save. I love staying within my means. That's something that's easy for me. Like, I don't feel like I need to spend my whole check. I don't feel like I need to do every single thing possible. I love getting my check and fractioning out what goes where and how much I'm gonna save and this and that. Because even though I have all the debt and things like that, it's like saving and knowing what you're going to put your money towards instead of just being willy-nilly with it. Oh, I got a check and I want to do this week. If you have like a kind of a plan, then that's the best way to pay off some things. And it's also the best way. He's looking out for future self. That's what I say. Just like kind of looking out for your future self and those rainy days. And then another thing I was going to say was with credit cards, somebody had told me, like, just use your credit cards for gas, like only gas or emergencies, but really just gas to help you build the credit. But it's like, gas is going to be what gas is. You got to get it all the time, regardless, you're going to pay it anyway. So it's like, pay that and be more intentional with your credit cards. And then another thing is investing. Like, I'm trying to get into investments now, and it's, learning by yourself and not having like somebody like that's done it before to like give you the ins and outs stuff. It's like, but you got to make those, you got to make that first step. I think that I procrastinate a little bit because it's like, I don't want to miss that, but it's going to happen regardless. So it's like, I'm kind of hesitant, but I did have an investing opportunity with a family member, actually, because she flipped houses and stuff like that. So that was like one of my first investments. So it's like a little safe investment, a little 500, little some slide. I'm like, okay, dip my toe in there. And now I'm like, okay, now I want to see what else I could do, whether that's with, an app, because they got all these investing apps and stuff like that, or, it's with people who flip houses or being investors for other things. Like, that's another big thing I'm kind of trying to learn and get into, and I kind of encourage other people to learn about too.
Yeah, and one of the things I was gonna say, you made me think of something else too. So I'm also broadcasting live, you guys. Other than YouTube and Facebook, we're also on the Elo app. So you guys say hello to everybody on Elo. They're watching and listening. Thinker said on the Elo app, when you get paid, each time you get paid, you should be paying yourself from your paycheck. Like, take money aside that's just for you and nothing else. And then Krista said one of the best things that her parents taught her was how to save. So that goes back to what Sunny was saying about, our generations coming up, our parents and whoever the adult people are in our lives should be teaching us this as we come up as teenagers and young adults. So when we turn 18 and this becomes an accessible thing, that we know the do's and don'ts that we should be doing with this. And then what I was going to add was, make sure that you're checking your credit reports. You can check all 3 credit report bureaus for free every year, all you have to do is go to annualcreditreport.com and you go in there. They'll let you do each one. Equifax, what is it? I can't even remember the three. Equifax, Experian, and what's the
TransUnion.
What is it?
TransUnion.
Oh yeah, TransUnion. So you can check all three of those once a year for free. And you can print it out, you can download it, and you want to check it. I know we have Credit Karma and things like that. Credit Karma can be pretty accurate, but it's not always going to tell you everything. And also, each credit bureau won't necessarily show all of your debt, which is why it's great to pull all three from each one. And usually they'll have the number to the debt, the creditor on there, say your debt. And I always tell people, start with the smallest amount of debt you have. You know, some people have these debts that are just like $100 hospital bill that's just sitting on there. You don't need $100 debt from a hospital to go in collections. That's crazy. If that is a bill that was something that you had to pay out of pocket, you can call the hospital and say, hey, I don't have this $100 right now, but maybe for the next 4 months, can I send you $25 a month until this $100 is gone? Most times they're going to say, okay. And that's with most debts. Even if it's $1,000, you set the amount that you can pay. And as you're setting that amount, you know, you send it in, they're getting it. They can't say you aren't paying something. So that's the upside to what you see on your credit report. So I just wanted to add that because I know a lot of people, they know that they can look at their credit report, but they depend on Credit Karma and some of the other things to kind of tell them. Because even our banks now have it where, oh, you can see your updated credit score. That may not necessarily be the most accurate thing, you know, but at least it gives you an idea of where you're sitting with your credit scores. And shout out to everybody on Facebook that's watching. If you're on YouTube watching, we got Jay, we got Miss Angel, Ivory,
we
Diane.
Can't hear you, Renee.
Huh? You can hear me?
Y'all showing out tonight, okay?
Oh, Miss Yvette says she can't hear me. Okay. I know I saw Rita. I saw Latasha. Okay, and I saw Renee. And I saw another Renee. All right, you guys. So now let's go into Women's History Month. So, like I said, this is Women's History Month. We've already had Women's Day earlier in the month. The month is winding down. So next week will really be our last week kind of touching on Women's History Month. However, if you are in Washington, D.C. and you love spending time learning new stuff, you can go out to they have an inaugural in-person exhibition called We Who Believe in Freedom, Black Feminists DC, and it's at the National History Museum in Washington, D.C. It's running from March the 30th. Let me see. I think it's let's see. Oh no, that's a different date. Let's see. But what it does is it talks about they kind of talk about the journey of Black feminism in that area. I'm not saying I'm a feminist and all that stuff, okay? Because I know when y'all hear something, I know some people, they be like, oh, y'all talking about feminists. Oh, they are feminist. No. Look, my little Kevin Hart. Oh, they are feminists. No, I'm just giving you information in case this is something that anybody wants to see in DC. And I believe now they put this museum inside of the Black History Museum that they have in DC. So it's now a part of that whole collaboration. Okay. And they did at one point have it where you could virtually see the exhibit as well. So that's an option for you guys. Now, I want to talk about this amazing man. We was just talking about him too. That's crazy. And then he turned around and won an Oscar. How about that? Michael B. Jordan. Woo. He won that. I was watching him because ain't no way if anybody else would have won that Oscar, I probably would have been mad because I don't know. Maybe if it was Leonardo DiCaprio, because I kind of like him a little bit. You know, that's my white chocolate. Uh, a little bit, just a little bit, but
White chocolate, okay.
with Leo, but with this, like this man played 3 characters. I didn't even think about that till somebody said it. They were like, he didn't just play Smoke and Stack. He literally plays Smoke. He plays Stack, and he actually played a vampire because when he became the vampire, even though he was the other twin, the vampire version took on a whole different persona than the twin version. So it was like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. He had to really put himself in 3 different shoes to play this character that was all him. And so, yeah, I feel like well-deserved Oscar, puts him up there with Halle Berry, with who else was it?
Sidney Poitier, Denzel
and
Washington,
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Denzel, yeah.
Jamie Denzel,
Even
yeah.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Will Smith,
yeah.
yes.
And they
He's
said
so incredibly
Well,
talented. I
yeah,
love this
so
for
he-
us.
Yeah, so
they-
that was something well deserved.
And they said that he they was interviewing like other cast members, and they said he stayed in character the whole time. Whatever character he was playing, they said they could decipher which character he was about to do because he stayed in character the whole time through the whole shooting of the film. So he was like so like ultra focused on it. So yeah. That was congratulations.
Well deserved.
Congratulations.
And he
I
did
think
that
that
for
was
the
good,
culture,
too.
y'all. He did that for the culture.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
It's like,
for the culture.
I'm
for the
gonna watch
culture.
it. I'm gonna watch Sinners every month for the rest of my life. Like it's really that deep for me.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on tonight.
Every month,
I don't
once a
care
month.
who I
I
fall
was
asleep.
thinking about
Annually.
like, what is it on? What is it on?
So I got a little site.
Prime.
It's on who?
It's on Prime. On Prime,
On
Amazon
Prime?
Prime.
Okay, I got Prime.
I got a
All right.
site I watch my
Yeah.
movies off of. But
But it's on Prime, yeah.
it's oh my god, I love
Not you
Sinners.
got a little movie site. Go on and shoot me that link.
Put link down below, down below, y'all.
Gatekeeping.
I got y'all.
I got me a little site.
I got me a little site,
Don't
and it's
forget, keep
legit,
it sight.
some slight. I can see my man Michael B whenever I want to,
But you know the
Yes.
sad part is people, of course you had the haters in the background, still people trying to say, he didn't deserve it, and that other guy, I forget his name, he should have won it. And I said, like just let people have what they have and let them just enjoy their achievement, right? Like everybody's time is everybody's time. Your time is your time, my time is my time. My gift is my gift, your gift is your gift, and some people just do not know how to celebrate other people, and it's so crazy. So congratulations to him. It was well deserved.
Yeah.
Very.
The haters is crazy.
And then
That's
on
why
top
they
of
hate
that, they had a performance of the song from the movie on stage. They had Misty Copeland twirling across the stage. They had Buddy Guy. I think his name is Buddy Guy. The guy who
about the
played
guy who was playing
he played the older version at the end of the movie. He was on stage playing. The one that played the young cousin, he was up. He led the song. It was amazing.
Damn it.
So that performance, I've watched that performance now probably about 3 times, and every time I watch it, I'm looking at a different scene because it's just like the movie. It merged all of these time periods together in this one scene, and they did that on stage. So to see that play out on the stage like that in front of all these people that weren't ready for that, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that.
I was gonna say real quick, I saw a video of the actor that plays Sammy, and he had posted like, I think it was on his Instagram or something. He had posted like him walking in the hallway of like going towards the audition. He's like, yeah, I'm auditioning for this movie, and Ryan Coogler is the director. I'm gonna see what they're about. I got blessed to be a part of this movie. Didn't know nothing from nothing. Didn't know what type of impact it was finna make. And he had posted it just, and I was just like, and I saw earlier this morning, and I was just amazed, like, wow, like the way God work is insane. Like you are clueless in this moment to how
Mhm.
deep and how much of an impact you're about to have. And it was just crazy, like seeing that before and after, and everything that they've changed, everything they've done, and it's like incredible. Like wow,
Yeah.
you know, it's on so many levels for everybody. And everybody's gonna comment like, you're the only Sammy. There's nobody else that could play you. And I mean, Ryan Coogler picking him out, it was just chef's kiss. Everybody that was on the
Right,
set, you know, all the
Yeah.
cast, it was
right,
just like chef's kiss. So yeah. Hmm.
right. And a lot of people, so I grew up listening to a lot of gospel music, especially like in my 20s and early 30s and mid 30s. And so his mom is a gospel singer. She sings her
Mhm.
tail off. And there's a clip you can go if you Google his name and look on YouTube or search YouTube. There's a video of him singing with mom when he's like 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And even then, his voice is as strong as it is now. You know, of course, now he got this grown man bass that we forget that he's young. Cause, sir, you sound like somebody I'm trying to date. Okay, with this big old deep
Look,
manly
can
voice.
do.
You know what I'm saying? He had me shook in that movie talking about, I won't taste you. Good boy, if you don't go sit down somewhere. When he said that, I was like, wait, who he talking to her? Who he
The
talking
way I
to?
turn into a
He
meal
was
immediately, taste me
right,
then. Like,
man.
whoa,
She talking about, I
Meow.
walked here.
okay,
She talking about, I walked here. He like, I don't care how you got here.
dinner time.
Look, how you forgetting he a whole little young man around here.
Right, right.
But no, they all did amazing, and I'm glad that they were able to get the accolades that they got at the
Yeah.
Oscars. So kudos to them. Now I got another. Well, Dawn mentioned something a minute ago to me. There was an incident that happened after at the award show also with Tiana Taylor. I didn't see this, so I'm not
Mm.
sure. But Dawn, go ahead and tell us what happened because I missed this.
Yeah, so I guess at the end of the award show when everybody was leaving, some white man grabbed Tiana Taylor, and she turns around and she was like, you shouldn't be putting your hands on a woman. And then of course, you got these two other people trying to make her feel like it wasn't that big deal, and she's like, it is. He touched me,
Yeah.
and he shouldn't be touching me. And so, of course, people, some people was like, of course, yes, speak up for yourself. And then other people saying, oh, she was just mad she didn't win, which she did win a part of the whole thing, but she didn't win, I guess, in her single category. But I was like, no, she said the man shouldn't have touched her. And it's as simple as that. He shouldn't have been touching her. It ain't had nothing to do with nothing else other than you should
Right.
not have touched me. I don't understand why people have such a hard problem with comprehension.
Mhm.
Cause didn't something like that happen at the this happened like last year? What was that? The Met Gala? Somebody that was walking up the stairs and one of the security people grabbed them, and it was this whole big scene.
Oh,
It happened to Ariana Grande.
Mm.
No, I don't know
Yes.
if it was.
We
I
ain't
know
talking
it
about
was
Ariana Grande.
Who y'all talking about?
She was.
No,
This
it was
person was black.
Yes,
She was
and I
black,
can't remember
and
who
she
it
was.
was.
Yeah. She was
I
going
can't
into an
remember who
event.
it was. Kelly Rowland. Thank you, Rita.
Yes,
Rita said
yes,
it was Kelly
Kelly
Rowland.
Rowland. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
But
like, why
she
y'all keep
stood her
trying us
ground
out here in
too.
public like we not gonna pop off on you in public?
Right. We will pop up.
Like, you can't be
But
trying
she
us in
stood
public
her
like
ground
that.
too. Kelly Rowland stood her ground too.
Yeah, she
Of
did.
course, you had the naysayers out here trying to make it more than what, what it
They want to
wasn't.
say it's an angry black woman, and it's not.
Yeah,
We
no,
not
it's
angry.
not.
We ain't
Want our
angry. We just
respect.
not gonna take no mess.
Right.
Yeah, because enough is enough.
Right. Now I got one last question. Who's still shopping at Target?
Listen, I ain't even
let me
gonna
tell
lie.
you.
Every blue moon, I might go in there.
Yeah, every
because-
blue moon is not on
because
mine.
it's close to my house. So
Listen, I have not really been paying attention. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know why they told people not to shop at Target. Honestly, I'm not saying I don't care, because I do care when things are, if it's serious. But in a kind of in a way, I really don't. Like, if it's something I need and Target got it and nobody else got it, I'm going to go to Target.
Right.
And so it's like, but I saw an article where I guess Pastor Jamal Bryant was saying, "Oh, the boycott with Target is over," and then the actual person who organized the original boycott was like, "Who? Ain't nobody put him in charge of nothing. I don't know why he's saying it's over, because it ain't over." So I was like, "Well, dang, why we boycotting anyway?" Because again, I'm clueless. I have no idea why we boycotting. Because I know Tabitha Brown has her stuff in Target.
Right.
So I'm like, are we supporting Tabitha? Are we not? Like, what's going on? I'm so confused with Target. But I go in Target because they the only one that have poop
Yeah, the
bags for
DEI. Yeah.
The DEI.
it was the DEI because they was, I guess with Trump, and they were saying they took the DEI out of their stuff. And so basically Jamal Bryant was so now here's the thing. I didn't know it was somebody else that started it. I always thought it was him because he was the one in the front. Like, that's who you always heard talking about it. He was the one saying, "Oh, we're conversating with Target. They're going to do this. They're going to do that." So I didn't know it was somebody else.
So he put himself in charge.
Until when he made that status about, "Oh, the boycott is over, blah, 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 blah." And then immediately that lady did a press conference and said, "It's not over." She said they need to come out and publicly apologize to us like they publicly denounced us or publicly took the DEI stuff away, blah, blah, blah. So, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm like Sonny, like every blue moon, I might go in there and grab something because, again, it's right here by my house.
Right.
It's closer than Walmart. At the end of the day, I feel like every big corporation somehow then removed DEI from they stuff. They was always doing little stuff behind the scenes we just didn't know about.
Right.
I feel like, stuff is going to continue to happen. Yes, we should still voice it. I guess for me, like on a lot of issues that people be like, "Why are you not getting all riled up? Why are you not doing?" I said, because, it's certain. I mean, for me, I'm not the act up person. I'm the person like, okay, how can we get this done with the least a bit of violence? But I can still get out of it what I want.
Right.
So for me, I backed off a little bit, but at the end of the day, we made them feel it in their pockets because they did lose a lot of money in that first 6 months.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Tabitha Brown stuff isn't there anymore either. They took it away. She posted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she did. They did.
She basically posted and said that God puts, do things for a reason, and if something doesn't align with this and that, God will take it out your life, like that whole thing, and basically like implying talking about her stuff being pulled from Target.
I wonder when she took it out, because I just went in there and bought some hair stuff like less than 2 weeks ago.
Really, for her? It was hers?
Yeah, that's what I use on my daughter's hair.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she posted about it a minute ago. Maybe they put it back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But then again, it was on sale, so maybe they was trying to hurry up and get rid of it.
Get rid of
it. Stock, yeah.
Yeah, because I know her stuff is at Ulta too. I don't like Ulta. Ulta is like, give me a headache. Ulta is like almost worse than Goodwill. Like, my brain can't take it.
Yeah, it's too much.
There's too much going on because it's too busy, dog.
The price change.
It's too busy. I can't take like the Bell's Outlet store and TJ Maxx. I can't take them stores. Everything be all over the place, and people just be like, they be
That's
acting
how I feel about Burlington.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Burlington.
Like Ross, I deal with it because Ross is Ross. But Burlington.
Oh, old school 90s Burlington, I could deal with it. But this new Burlington they got, it's giving TJ Maxx
everywhere.
And I just be like, man, let me hurry up and get in here and out of here. And then the line be like long. Man.
Right.
But yeah. So that's what happened, what I saw with Target. So I wanted to mention that. Now, this is my favorite topic I want to talk about tonight. We talking about college degrees. Okay. Is it worth it, or do you feel like it's a waste of time? So I just finished my AS degree. I have an AA degree, and I just got accepted to start in August at Ohio State University. Okay. So that means I'm getting these degrees. Okay. However, sometimes I feel like, is it worth it? Like, I do. Sometimes I'll be saying, like, man, do I need to just start right here? Is it worth it? Because I've been going to school for a long time. I was one of those ones that started out and I put school right in my debt, because I started college in 2002. I graduated in 2000, and the first thing that I did was, when they say, oh, we can give you this loan for school, whatever the school doesn't take for the payment, you get that money back. Well, guess what? The first year not even the first year, the first semester, I enrolled in the classes. They gave me my little refund check. It was a couple $1,000. Oh, shoot, they got me some money. I wasn't working, none of that. And then I was like, I don't even want to go to school right now. So I withdrew out of my classes. And you know what them people said? Well, since you withdrew out of them classes, we need all our money that we just gave you for this class. What you mean? So I found out very early on that I couldn't waste my time going to college. But then at that point, I didn't have any kids. So, when you don't have a dependent, you don't qualify for Pell Grants and things like that. Once I had my daughter, I was like, all right, now I could go to school. I could do what I need to do. I could, and they gave me the Pell Grants. The Pell Grants, you don't pay back. However, the loans, the subsidized and unsubsidized loans, that is what you are paying back. Mm-hmm. So the way they have it now is you can get Pell Grants for the first 6 years. Okay. So I didn't get my AA degree until 2010. Remember, I started in 2002. That's 8 years. So when they finally put that implementation into make it be what it was going to be at a 6-year cap, I was already over that 6-year cap. So they said, all right, we can't give you no more Pell Grants. So now I was back where, okay, everything has to be a loan. And so from that moment, I had to say, okay, I got to make sure if I'm going to take these classes and go to school, I got to pass these classes, because I'm not going to get these loans for classes that I'm failing or not passing just to keep accumulating the debt, And so what I ended up doing was I ended up starting, once I started this AS degree that I just finished in December, I made the choice then. I said, you know what? Since it's an AS degree, I'm going to one of like the community colleges. It costs less than if I went to a 4-year school. And so I say, you know what? They'll let me do a payment plan, and I can pay it, pay so much a month for each as I'm taking these classes. So that's what I did. I was like, I'm already at a point of loans that I don't want to cry now. And so I made the choice. I said, you know what? I'm going to pay for my AS degree out of my own pocket. If I can't pay for it, that means I don't need to take these classes right now. So for the whole 2 years that I was going for this AS degree, I was paying for it out of pocket. And shout out to Facebook, because everybody on Facebook will know. They'll tell you. I made sure Facebook knew and understood that my behind was going live, and I was doing the things that I was doing and posting, because Facebook paid for my AS degree. It really did. My monetization Facebook is what I use every month to pay my money for my school. And I am so appreciative of that. Like, y'all have no idea. So that's why I try to tell people, like, you have to figure out for you and how it's going to work for you to determine if going to college is worth it, or if you feel it's a waste of time. My 22-year-old says college is a waste of time. And you know what? When she give me her reasoning, I can't even come back with nothing. Like, I want to be like, girl, you need to go get this college degree so you can make this money and do this and that. She like, Mom, I'm making money. My daughter, she literally made in 1 month from TikTok, she made like $18,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what can I say to a 22-year-old who's making this kind of money from doing what they love doing, you know, and try to convince them why they should go to college? Ain't no convincing. They like, man, I'm making this money. Like, I'm not gonna put, you know, and her true statement was, I don't want to put debt on myself that is gonna be that I'm probably really not gonna like. She's not gonna like going to school, especially when she can travel the world and do all the things she's doing and make the money. Shoot, she was paying me to ship stuff out for her. So shoot, she was my boss for a whole year with me helping her. But so it's like, we just have to figure it out for ourselves. She figured it out. I figured out I want to be a doctor. So me wanting to be a doctor means I have to go through these steps of going to college to get there. You know, with her, she wants to travel the world, and the way she does it is how she does it. So what do y'all think? Do you think college is worth it, or is it a waste of time?
I think it's worth it depending on what you're going to school for. Now, my daughter, she has a master's degree. My daughter is a CPA. She's an accountant. So things like that, being a doctor, being an attorney, being a nurse, there are certain professions that you do need an education. I mean, you can't become a doctor without the education. You know, you can't become an accountant and work. My daughter, she works for Victoria's Secret. She is their chief financial analysis. So she could not have gotten that job without a college degree. So I think it really depends on the individual. It depends on what you're going to school for. If this is something that you are going to make a profession, then yeah, it is definitely worth it.
I agree. I think it definitely depends on what it is, especially now in this day and age. The way people are able to make money now is a lot different, right, than it was years and years ago. And 9 times out of 10, you end up in more debt than what you make. You end up spending the rest of your life trying to pay off this debt. And sometimes even if I've watched documentaries and TV shows and the news, talk to people like doctors and lawyers and saying, you know, that they are in so much debt trying to pay back their school loans, you know, and it's like, that's a stress you put on yourself. But, you know, only one of my kids well, I'm lying. My son is in college right now. My daughter graduated. My youngest is in college now, but he's going because he wants to be a social worker. So you have to go to college for that. But I mean, you have to really make up your mind if that's something you're going to do, right? Like, I went to college too. I got a degree. I went twice and got, which I don't even understand why I did it. I went and got 2 separate associate degrees. I don't know why. But I got lucky far as the payment part, because a lot of people don't know this, but I got sick and I was put on total disability. I was never supposed to go back to work after I got my congestive heart failure. And after 3 years of being on total disability, the lady at the Social Security office told me, well, you know, we can get your loan debt written off. And I was like, what? She was like, they can write off your loan so long as you stay on total disability for 3 years or more, we could write it off. So yeah, I got my $56,000 written off. The hitch to that is I could never go back to school. So even if, say, I decided I wanted to go back to school for something, that brings that debt back and then whatever I would owe. So I can never go back to school ever again, which I probably wouldn't. My old brain can't remember last week, so I know I ain't going to remember those students. But for anybody who is on total disability and you got student loans, you can get it written off by Social Security. But they don't tell people that, because when I found out, I asked a couple of people that I knew, and they was like, what? Ain't nobody told me that. So, but yeah, it just depends nowadays. Because, like you said, Lady Bird, your daughter is making money on TikTok. Social media has become a job. It's become a field, right? Like, and it's some stuff that you can just go to trade school for and make great money too. You don't have to go to full fledged college. So, it's like y'all said, it's just whatever you feel like you more comfortable with. And I think we got to stop beating people up who decide not to go to college, because it don't make them no less. Because you got people, they got high college degrees and they sitting at home doing nothing. So
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Cute and Classy on LO said the Department of Education is investing more in certifications because some of the degrees are no longer valid. So, and that's true. Like, you have people that spend years going to school, getting these degrees, and then not long after they find out, oh, nobody's hiring for this type of job anymore.
Mhm.
you know and it becomes discouraging because you do have some people that they're putting their last and their all into attaining that, and then to turn around and find out now I gotta find something else to do because I'm not gonna find a
mhm.
position for this title now, and that's what I paid all this stuff for. And so yeah, that definitely is man, that's crazy. But even with these certifications, because I remember I had a school, and I'm so happy that they started this whole debt forgiveness stuff and that stuff. But also, they had a couple schools that were like inappropriately enrolling people. Because I had a
Mhm.
couple of them. I had Ashford University was one of them. I enrolled in there one year because the lady kept calling my phone. Because when you go looking for jobs, all of a sudden all these schools start calling. Hold on, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Okay, I'll get it. I got you. I got you. Okay. Okay. Child, she want her snacks from the store. But they were inappropriately enrolling people, and I had a debt. I didn't even take classes. They enrolled me, and once I realized that it was gonna be a bad thing to do, I said no, I'm not gonna do this. And they left that debt on my credit report and with the Department of Education. And the Department of Education said, you know what? Um, they said we're gonna remove this, and they sent me a letter and said pretty much every student that ever went to this school, whatever debt they had with this school was gonna be gone and forgiven, and so they took that clean out of my thing. So I was happy about that.
They did that
Unless
with a school here
they're
too
gonna turn
before.
up on me in a minute.
They did that with one of the schools here. I can't remember. I had actually, right before I went to the college that I ended up graduating from, it was a school here. It was like a trade school, and they were only open for like 4 years or so, and they found out they was doing some illegal stuff with the monies, and I dropped out 3 months before they closed them down. And I wouldn't have had to pay my money back, but I dropped out before they shut them down, so I still had to pay back the 5,000 I had took for them. But also here, one of the bigger colleges, they're like you said about the no longer honoring certain degrees. I don't know what departments it is, but they closed down like a couple of the departments at the Buff State and the UB, and they're no longer recognizing those degrees either. And that's just crazy. I don't know. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sonny, what you think about it? I ain't heard you say nothing about it.
Um, I don't think that I honestly, because I agree with both with what everybody said. It's basically like there's so many ways to make money now that if you want to go to school, it's either about like what profession you want, or if you just personally want to, further your education. It don't even have to be about making money at this point. So, yeah, I just feel like it's whatever works for you. I don't think it's a waste of time unless it's like something you're not going to be able to it's not going to actually benefit you in the long run, down the road and things like that. Yeah, honestly, I feel like I went to school for I hadn't finished yet, but for PCT. So I had, because my school that I had went to, it closed. It was like some weird stuff going on with, I don't know what happened. I guess the sisters owned the school and somebody wasn't paying something, and so they ended up closing, and it was crazy. It was a lot of conspiracy going on. So we still trying to figure that out now, where the students going and all those things. But yeah, I had went for PCT, and I'm glad I went. I learned so many things. I had been working in healthcare for a while before I had actually went to school, so it was like kind of freshening up on what I already know, as well as like learning new things. So I love school. I love educating myself further. I love books. I love reading. I love fun facts. I love all those things. So I'm never gonna think that it's a waste of time, but it or not worth it or whatever. But I just think it depends on the person and what they're trying to get out of it.
What's
I'm always
PCT?
Patient care
patient
tech.
care.
So you do EKG, CNA, and phlebotomy in one class, essentially. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Because they do. I didn't even know PCTs did that too. Because I know usually certified medical assistants did that. So is that kind of just bridged with that profession now? Like, did they bridge
no, because there was actually like a classmate of mine that was doing MA, which is medical assistant and stuff like that. So, and it was separate. But they do have like similar things. So it's like, I guess, and when you get into healthcare, it's like there's so many like nook and crannies that I'm still like trying to figure out. You got different, names for things, and it's just like you're just like, you do what? And you make how much for that? Like, so it's just about what you really, really want to do. Somebody said they think I would be good in coding. Somebody I was in class with, they said that they could see me doing like coding and things like that. And it's just like, you want to have that background of healthcare if you're going to be doing healthcare coding and billing and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, some things go hand in hand, and some things help with whatever you're trying to do.
Right, yeah, because I remember I went to school I was a medical assistant. I never got certified because the funny part is, when I went to school to be a medical assistant, they didn't require you to be a certified MA. And then probably 3 or 4 years later, they was like, oh, now all the jobs wanted you to have the certification. I was like, I ain't finna do all this. I done been working in this. Like, I'm like, And then I kind of just switched and started doing other stuff. But then, of course, I start having kids and all the other adult stuff that I probably shouldn't have been doing.
Another big thing is like entrepreneurship and stuff. Like, you don't necessarily, you could take a business class. I mean, it's not going to hurt, but you don't necessarily need to go to school for that. You know what I mean? Depending on what you want to do. And if you got the money like that, you can hire somebody who did go to school to handle the stuff you don't know. You know what I mean?
And
so
now you got videos, people doing seminars and things on YouTube and all this stuff. Like, there's people that's just willing to teach you without you having to go, and learn it. I mean, right. I know me, if I'm trying to find something out about my car that I don't know about, I'm going to YouTube. And now I'm a car expert. I don't care what you say. I learned it on YouTube. I'm an expert. Okay.
TikTok University, honey.
Okay? Right. TikTok University. That's that part.
And Chat GPT.
Oh, baby. Listen,
that AI.
People that use Chat GPT for everything.
Girl, I use it for everything.
It's taking over. You're not helping me.
Not even that. YouTube University. Anytime a lot of friends of mine need to know something, learn something, they be like, let me go look on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. Because even with music, the first thing I do is go to YouTube. I don't even go to the music streaming platform. I just go straight to YouTube because I know it's going to be on there. All right. So that was a good topic. I like these topics tonight. We don't have a sip and spill letter tonight, but if you want to spill your tea to us and you want us to read it here online, on live on the show, all you have to do is email us at onehourgirlstalk@gmail.com. And you've heard some of these letters we've had already. So, it can get a little juicy. They be spilling and we sip. Okay. And tonight, even though we don't have a letter, I'm sipping on my poppy. I got a raspberry rose. I'm hooked on poppies. I done got hooked on these poppies, okay?
Nah.
Okay, Canada Dry in the house. All right. Now, this is the fun part. our sexy man of the week. Let me tell you, this man had me. Yes, Michelle. What can I do for you? I'm getting ready to look at a man. Okay? Can I?
She said, "Give her snacks first." She said,
She said,
"Give me
I
my
gotta
snacks
get
first."
all because she got to go. She said she want me to go to the store and get her some chips, some animal cookies, and some apples.
Oh wow!
But
Great
no,
selection.
this man, I'm gonna get it, Michelle. But remember, if you're not nice to me, then I won't get it. Are you gonna be nice? Are you gonna be nice tonight? Okay. All right. So
Ooh.
this man
Oh,
right
Lord. Baby.
I'm
Jesus.
taking him young and old, okay?
here. Look at Sonny.
He was okay young, but the older
older,
one,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm almost done,
Ooh-wee.
He's
Yes,
so fine,
so
y'all.
this is our sexy man of the week, Mr. Morris Chestnut, Mr. Ricky, because he had me crying when he was running through the alley in the Boys to Men. I mean, I'm talking about Boys to Men and Boys in the Hood. He had me crying, child. I was crying because why
He
y'all
iconic
had
too.
Ricky? He was going to college to play football. He wasn't out here in these streets.
Ricky.
Had me fighting the air with Cuba Gooding Jr., man. I was fighting the air.
Oh my
But
goodness.
this is a picture. That's why I said, let me do a young
Tyler
and
John.
then and now picture.
He's so fine.
He
And this
is
coral look
gorgeous.
amazing on him.
I think that
Yes.
bald head is amazing. He looks amazingly gorgeous with that bald head.
Yes. He has done so many different things in the industry. Like there's so many movies that I can name with this man in it. Even TV shows that he's been a part of. If you have not watched The Best Man, I feel like that was one of
Oh yeah, that
even
was
though
a
he's
good
had
one.
some great ones, but The Best Man movies and the series, they did a mini series for that last one. Amazing.
Amazing.
So you got to watch, what is it? Best Man Holiday, and then The Best Man Final Chapter.
Girl,
Those
just
are-
watch anything that he in, cause baby, he fine.
yeah,
Just
anything
look
he
at
in,
him.
just watch it because it's gonna
Ah, boo.
I love looking
And
at
you
him. Look
might
at his
get-
smile.
and he do-
Mm.
and he got a couple of them where he got his shirt off, child.
Yes,
Ooh.
girl.
Uh-oh.
You know you should have had a shirtless picture for me. See how you do?
And see, that was the
I needed
plan,
some-
but we weren't on here Monday, so we wasn't
I
I needed
on
some
here
brightening
Monday.
up today. Some
We only got
brightening up.
one show this week, so this is what that's
So
how
we
you
gotta
got
do what we gotta
to
do. Okay.
But no, he does look very well with his shirt off, ladies. Okay,
I believe it. Oh, I know.
all right.
He look good in that
Okay.
orange.
So
Yes.
the next thing I wanted to mention before we get up out of here, because we don't have an entrepreneur spotlight tonight. But I wanted to talk about this because I saw this the other day. You know, I'm always looking for new music because I want to highlight our new music artists. And I'm looking and I saw this thing pop up, said China Styles. Okay. China Styles. And I was like, who is China Styles? And I'm Googling. Let me tell y'all who China Styles is, okay? China Styles is a new R&B AI generated music artist. Yeah. Wait,
taking
this is
over.
a thing?
Taking over.